Very much, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill which has been long in its gestation. Its genesis goes back to, and Phil Goff will be able to help me with this, its genesis goes back to about 2006, I think. 2006, well, and as Phil Goff points out, under the Labour government, that's true, when Rick Barker, who was the Minister for Veterans Affairs at the time, asked the Law Commission to carry out a comprehensive review of the War Pensions Act, which of course came into being as far back as 1954. So it was a very long time coming, that review of the original legislation, and then the review itself took a long period of time, and that was appropriate because there was a lot of opinions that needed to be canvassed. There were a lot of people that needed to be spoken to, and there was a huge range of issues that needed to be dealt with. And the Law Commission eventually came back to Parliament after the current government had been elected with a comprehensive report, and then the government sat on that report for a very, very long time indeed. And frankly, veterans and their families started to despair that progress would never be made on this legislation. And we went through the whole term of the last Parliament without any progress being made. And here we are right at the end of this government's final term, the second term of Parliament under this government, and we're only just now at the point where this legislation has been progressed far enough that it may well indeed be finally passed into law just in the very last breaths of this second term. That is 8 years on. Over 8 years on from when the original instruction was given by the then Veterans Affairs Minister, the Honourable Rick Barker, to embark on this process. And we knew it was one that was always going to take a long time because there are a lot of issues that need to be dealt with, but it simply did not need to take this long to get to this point. So the question that is at the front of our minds over on this side of the House in this part is the question around the veterans' pension. And through Phil Goff's advocacy, I'm really pleased to see that the Minister for Veterans Affairs, Michael Woodhouse, eventually saw reason and saw fit to implement the changes, or to propose the changes to the legislation or most of them, that Phil Goff was proposing around a universal application of the veterans' pension. This is something which does not cost governments a large amount of money. It's unusual in that as time goes on, the cost to the government actually decreases. Usually when you introduce a new entitlement or you introduce a new policy, actually the costs tend to go up over time. The costs for this policy actually reduce over time, and it is a small way of recognising the contribution that our veterans have made to our safety, our security, our peace, and our place around the world. And not just the veterans themselves, but their families as well. As Phil Goff rightly points out, the impact of serving overseas, particularly for those veterans who have served in full-scale combat, in full-scale war that a generation ago took people away from their families for years, not just for 6 months at a time in a rotation, but for years and years and years. That is a significant contribution to our nation that's been made by the veterans themselves and by their families. And it was a shock, really, that it took as much advocacy from the opposition spokesperson as was required to get the government to see fit to apply the veterans' pension universally to all veterans. But what the Minister has not seen fit to do, Mr Chairman,
Ian, just get away.
what the Minister has not seen fit to do yet is to allow a lump sum payment to be handed out as well. And that is the final component of this issue that Labour would like to see put in place. And we implore the government to take that last step. They've come away. I was going to say a long way, but it was never a long way to get from where they were to what Labour has been proposing. It was never a long way, and they've taken most of the steps required. They just need to take one final step so that we as a nation can properly acknowledge the contribution of veterans and their families to ensuring that we have security and safety here in our country, but also that we are contributing to peace and security around the world. New Zealand has for a long time had a very good reputation as a keeper of peace, as a pursuer of peace, both in a diplomatic fashion and where necessary by deploying our military. And until recent times, we of course had our forces serving overseas in 3 different locations on multiple rotations, and that is something which is well acknowledged by the international community, and we should justifiably be proud of that, and we should be proud of our veterans who carry those tasks out on our behalf. And it's not a huge ask for we as a nation to recognise those efforts through the changes that are being made throughout this legislation, particularly in Part 1, but in particular around providing a veteran's pension and providing for lump sum payments that, certainly in cases may be of direct benefit to the family rather than the veteran themselves. But as Phil Goff has outlined, plenty of military families have made a significant sacrifice themselves, as well as the person who was actually serving offshore and actually in uniform themselves and serving on behalf of the nation. So, sir, there's a number of parts to this legislation, and there's a number of aspects that we on this side of the House do want to consider. And we believe that given the long gestation of this legislation and the comprehensive nature of it, that it does deserve a comprehensive consideration here at the committee stage of this legislation. So, sir, I look forward to future contributions.
I call David Shearer.
Mr. Chair. Sir, I've spoken on this bill before, and I first of all want to just compliment the work that Phil Goff